Hey guys, so day one, we're gonna start it off with our quarter prisoner squats. So we're gonna start with our hands behind our head. Our feet are gonna be shoulder width apart, elbows behind your ears, so that way we're stretching our delts. And then we're just going quarter squats for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We go straight into our jumping jacks for 10, 9, 8. Stay on the balls of your feet. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We go straight into our seal jacks. So we're extending our arms out in front of us, standing up. Again, staying on the balls of our feet, and we go open and close for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Stretching those delts. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so looking like a starfish. We're going low pogos. So low pogos, all those are we're keeping our body completely straight. We're taking our heels off the ground. We're loading our ankles, and you're trying to just bounce on the balls of your feet, utilizing the elasticity in your ankles. Okay, we're trying to create the super stiff ankles. That way we don't roll ankles on the field, on that turf. So we're gonna do about 10 to 20 low pogos, just again, flexing our ankle. It's basically a really explosive calf raise. That's really it. Just creating stiff ankles. So going, you can hear my toes pop my little pad over here. So we're just popping, flicking our feet like a little dolphin, okay? No bend should be in your knees. No bend should be in your hips. Your core should be super tight, chest up, back strong, and you're just aggressively driving your elbows up and down, keeping your arms at a 45-degree angle, okay? So we're just keeping those hands nice and open and just focusing on flicking those feet. Flick. Like I said, you got 10 or 20. So then we transition to our high pogos. So we're just trying to get as high as possible, throwing our hands up as high as we can, circling them in a circular motion, so that way we kind of get more air time without using our hips or our knees. We really just want to push and produce power through the balls of our feet. So notice how my low pogos were pop, and then my high pogos are, okay? So you should spend more time in the air on your high pogos. Go on high pogos for 10. Okay, next we're gonna just stretch out those quads. So we're gonna stand on one foot. You can hold onto the wall if you need to, grabbing one ankle. So you're hitting that quad stretch. And now I'm gonna take this quad stretch a little bit further, okay? We're going to take our other hand and we're gonna reach for the sky, as well as do an ankle extension with the ankle that's on the ground. So ankle extension, lateral lat reach, with that quad pull, and then we're gonna grab the opposite ankle, okay? So we're alternating quad stretch, ankle extension, overhead reach, switching sides, quad stretch, ankle extension, lat reach, exhale on your lat reach. Alternate, go 5 each way, and then we're just gonna go back to our prisoner squats. So wide base, low center, strong back, chest up, elbows behind our ears, stretching those delts out, and then go through everything 2 more times. So I want 3 sets of this whole little combo, okay? 3 sets. I'm gonna go straight into our next little segment. Our next little segment is our ground activation. So you can find a wall or a foam roller or any type of elevated surface, okay? So you're gonna drop down to the ground, okay? Heels to your butt, arms across your chest if you want. Just make sure that you're not using your arms to get your hips off the ground whenever we do our single leg bridge, okay? So I have a wall. I'm gonna place my heel into the wall, making a 90-degree angle with my leg, okay? And all I'm gonna do is stick my other leg up into the ground, dorsiflex my toe. It's like I'm trying to put my heel onto the roof, okay? Again, don't let your hands assist your hips, and you're just extending your hip to the ceiling by digging your heel into the wall or elevated surface. And then placing your hips back down to the ground, okay? You're going, let's go 2 sets of 20, okay? 2 sets of 20 single leg bridges, jigging that heel into your wall, your foam roller, or any type of elevated surface, okay? Still laying on the ground, we have a lying straight leg lift, okay? So laying on the ground, you're going dorsiflexion in your toes, okay? So nice and tight calves, and then just driving that heel into the ground on your other leg and creating a 90-degree angle with your top leg, okay? So one foot should be pointing to the ceiling while the other heel is into the ground, and you're going up, down for 10 reps each leg, okay? I want you to try to be aggressive with your slap down, okay? So be aggressive with your foot coming all the way up, creating that 90-degree angle, and then whenever you get back to center, snap it down, but don't allow that heel to touch the ground, okay? I want your other leg that is not working to be able to stabilize and get that, stabilization for injury prevention, okay? So the other leg is working on injury prevention while your working leg is working on getting that blood pumping throughout your system. So then we have our lying side leg raises and lying inside adductor leg raises. I always put those together because you're gonna lay on your side like you're laying on the beach, okay? Stack those hips. We're laying on the beach, our head is in our hand, okay? And our hips are stacked. Our body is completely straight. I don't want any bend in your hips, your knees, and we're dorsiflexion on our ankles, okay? Now rotate that top hip like you're trying to make a letter T with your feet, okay? So my toe of my top leg, so this is my right leg, the toe of my right leg is creating a letter T with my left leg that's on the ground straight, okay? So I'm gonna place my right hand on the ground just to stabilize my body so my hips don't roll, my hips stay stacked. And I'm gonna just raise and then back to center, okay? So creating that T with my hips, keeping those hips stacked, all right? T with my feet, my toe is in the instep of my shoe. I'm actually barefoot right now, so my toe is in my arch if you're not wearing shoes like me. And then we're just raising for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm gonna bring my right leg, my top leg, in towards my hip or my belly button. Okay, I'm just staying with my hips stacked. I'm still laying on the beach, right? Bringing my top leg into my thigh, and I'm holding, my right hand is holding my foot, so that way my foot doesn't slide, okay? So I kind of look like a bird, but now I can focus on my left leg. So I'm dorsiflexion with my left leg. It's still in the same exact spot as my lying leg raises, okay? It has not moved. But now I want to give it some love, and I want to use my inner thigh, my inner adductor, to get my leg, my thigh, off of the ground, okay? So my inside knee is going to be tight, 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 tight. I'm going to tighten my quad on my left leg that's touching the ground as tight as it'll go, okay? I'm still holding my right leg in my hand so it doesn't get in the way, and I'm getting this nice little stretch, right? And then I'm lifting my left leg off the ground, and then putting my left leg back on the ground. Left leg up, left leg down, left leg up, left leg down. So when you don't bend your knee on this movement, you're allowing that adductor to control the entire leg, okay? So you'll feel that inner thigh working, and then you'll just, after 10 reps of that, you're gonna switch to the other side. Again, laying like we're laying on the beach, head is in our hand, and then we're placing the opposite hand, which is now gonna be my left hand, onto the ground, okay? And Now it's my left leg that's internally rotating and creating a T with my right leg. And then we're just raising, keeping that foot internally rotated. Okay. 10 reps, and then we're gonna bring that foot on in. Again, still laying like we're laying on the beach. Head in my hand. Now my left hand is grabbing my left foot. Dorsiflexion in my right leg, and then raising, trying to get that quad off of the ground by using my adductor, okay? 10 reps on that one too, before we move on to the next movement. Let's see. And then last but not least, my favorite, Superman's. So you're going to be laying on the ground. Ooh, like you're laying fully extended, arms overhead, legs overhead, dorsiflexion on our toes. Always dorsiflexing because we're trying to get those calves nice and extended, stretched, right? So we're gonna go both arms, both legs, like we're balancing on our belly button for 10, okay? Lifting both up like a flapping little fish on ground, okay? That's what we're gonna look like. But we're balancing on that belly button, keeping that core nice and tight, pushing our pelvic bone into the floor as we raise and then release. Raise and then release. Both arms, both legs. Then we're gonna transition to left hand, right leg, okay? So you're squeezing your glute, keeping your ankles, your knees, and your hips all one unit. No bend in your knees, no bend in your elbows, okay? All one unit, raising. 10 each side. And then we're gonna go our right leg, right hand, left leg, and then raising. 10 on each side. You guys are gonna get 3 sets, 10 reps each movement. You could absolutely, as the weeks progress, add more reps to your single leg bridges on the wall. I like to progress them to 20 each side, but as you guys get stronger and more stable, then you guys can absolutely progress to multiple sets. Some of my guys, they do the first set, they'll go 10 each leg. The second set, they'll go 20 each leg. And then the third set, they'll go 30 each leg. Just, they're so competitive. All right, continuing on to our ground activation, our next little segment. And guys, you can absolutely pause as we're progressing this video. So my favorite little ground activation exercise, we're going in our quadruped position. So bulldog position is our hands are going to be directly underneath our shoulders. Our knees are going to be directly underneath our hips. And all you're doing is raising your right knee parallel to your right hip, like you're a puppy going potty on a fire hydrant, okay? So we're just raising, trying to make sure that we get that knee parallel to our hip and nothing less, okay? Because if we only get that 45-degree angle, then we are not utilizing all the muscles that we need to, especially for injury prevention. You guys want to make sure that you're producing as much power through those muscle fibers as possible. So absolutely raise as high as you can and then back down to center, raise, back down to center. If you guys have a band, I would put it around your knees to create more tension on those fire hydrants. But that's totally optional because you wouldn't be able to use it for the next movement. So after our fire hydrants, it's our hip circles. We are going back. Oh, I'm about to get a cramp in my hamstring. Back at a 90-degree angle. We're gonna open our hip, kind of like our fire hydrant, and then we're gonna bring it around back to center. Okay, creating a big, gigantic circle with our kneecap. Going backwards first, open the hip, and then around. If you have the flexibility when you do your circle, try to get your knee to your elbow, okay? So if I'm taking my right leg backwards like a donkey kick, okay? Open it like a fire hydrant, bringing that knee all the way to my elbow and then back on to center, which is directly underneath my hip. We're doing 10 hip circles. After our 10 fire hydrants, if you can stay on the same leg, that would be wonderful. If you don't have that endurance yet or the flexibility, Then you can alternate fire hydrants on left, fire hydrants on right, hip circles on left, hip circles on right, and then transitioning to our side leg raise. In that same quadruped position, we're going right leg out to the side. You're going to make sure that your foot is parallel to your hip. You're fully extended in your knee. Turn on that quad, so tighten that quad as tight as it'll go. And then just raise your leg parallel to your hip and back down. Parallel to your hip, back down. If you're unfamiliar with this movement, then you will cramp, and that's perfectly fine. Your body is getting used to this flexibility, mobility, and stability, okay? So, again, 10 each side. And then if you can stay on all those 3 movements on your right side and then all 3 movements on your left side, that would be much better. But I completely understand if you can't. So fire hydrants, hip circles, side leg raises on right, fire hydrants, hip circles, leg raises on left. And then going to hit that groin stretch from in the quadruped position. So back down to your arms being parallel to your shoulders and knees parallel to your hips. You're gonna bring your left leg to your left hand. Oh, you're gonna look like super funny, but it's okay. Left leg to our left hand. Drive our left knee to your left pinky toe. When doing that, your right hip is gonna push parallel to the ground, and that's perfectly fine. As you find your mobility, you can push a little bit more further into the ground, keeping that knee towards your pinky toe. Get it away from your elbow, away from your tricep. You're really just trying to open that hip and then push the other hip into the ground. Now, if you have the mobility, you can work your way down to your elbows. So you'll inhale and then exhale, dropping one elbow and then the other elbow. And then you'll preferably hold it for 1 minute to 2 minutes, depending on how uncomfortable this is for you. I could literally watch TV shows in this movement, but I work on my hips all the time. So after your 1 minute to 2 minutes, you'll come back up from your elbows to your hands and push your hips backwards, getting back into that quadruped position. And then bring your right hand to your right, your right leg to your right hand. Okay, parallel to each other. And then drive your right knee to your right pinky toe. Opening that hip. So since our knee is driving to our pinky toe, it is nowhere near our elbow or tricep. Because our hip is open and we're focusing on that mobility, driving the left hip into the ground, okay? So right hip is open, left hip is into the ground as we inhale and exhale, working our way down to our elbows, okay? One elbow, you always do your outside elbow, so my left elbow, and then my right elbow. And I'm a little bit tight today, so I cannot get that left elbow or that right elbow all the way down to the ground, and that's perfectly fine. Some days it's elbow and a hand. Some days it is both elbows down on the ground. And some days it's just 2 hands. So after 1 minute or 2 of breathing and trying to get a little bit lower after every exhale, then you'll come back up. And then we're moving back to the top, okay? 3 sets of that fire hydrant, hip circle, and side leg raise, and then hitting that groin stretch, because part of injury prevention is focusing a lot on your mobility, as much mobility as you can, because it's how we take care of our bodies. All right, so then we have our mini band hip flexor holds. You guys are gonna place a mini band around our feet. Alrighty, so let me see, I think I left all of my mini bands at work, but I do have a fabric band. You can use a headband, a fabric band, you can use any band you want, just as long as it creates a little bit of tension, okay, depending on how strong your hip flexors are. You're gonna place it around your insteps of your feet, okay, sitting in an L sit position, okay, chest up, back strong, all right, dorsiflexion in our toes. You're gonna, if you're like me and you're tight, you're gonna feel tightness in your in your calves. You can feel tightness in your hamstrings. You can even feel tightness in your low back. Just try to make sure that you are in that perfect L as much as possible, okay? I think I actually went out of order. Banded L sit with a leg raise. So all we're gonna do is, sorry guys, I did go out of order. Banded L sit with a leg raise is supposed to be your second one, but that's okay because on this movement, you're putting that band around your ankles. I'm gonna have to cut this later. And all we're doing is raising that leg, okay? Using our hip flexor only, okay? So from that L, dorsiflexion in the toe. So pulling those toes to your face, no ballerina toes. And I like to throw my arms into it just because, you know, opposite arm, opposite leg. Might as well work on mechanics. So when my right leg raises, I'm gonna just focus on my left arm coming through. All right, make sure we do not bend the knee. Dorsiflexion toe, stiff ankle, tight quad, knee extension, chest step back strong, and raise, 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 raise. Let's go 20 each side on your hip flexor raises. Ooh. Okay, so you should feel it tighten your quad, and we're just trying to keep that heel from touching the ground, driving our toe to the ceiling, and our hip flexor should be burning, and that's perfect. And then we'll hit the left side, okay? L sit, hip flexor raise, hip flexor raise, hip flexor raise with those mini bands, okay? From there, you're gonna lay completely flat on the ground, okay? Now we're going to the mini band going on the instep of our feet, okay? Instep of our feet. And then you're just driving our knee to our chest. Driving our knee to our chest. Okay? Obviously, with the mini band, you're not going to get all the way to your chest, and that's perfectly fine. You're just trying to get that knee as parallel to your hip as possible. Okay? So dorsiflexion, nice tight quad on your left side, and then driving that knee parallel to the ground. Parallel to your hip as you raise. Use your hip flexor to raise on that mini band. Okay, then you go left side, same thing. Tighten those quads, dorsiflexion, and then drive your knee parallel to your hip. Okay, you are going 20 each side. Okay, we're really trying to get those hip flexors and all those ligaments as strong and stable as possible. That's how we prevent injury. After we do our banded L sit, we're keeping those bands on our instep of our feet, and you're just drawing your ABCs. So A, B, C with your ankle. Okay, so left side's gonna go all through the alphabet, right side's gonna go all through the alphabet. We're just strengthening our ankles. B, C, D, and yeah. This is kind of like an active recovery, this part. I always like doing our ABCs just to make sure we get those ankles nice and strengthened, nice and tight. So from here, we're gonna do a banded dead bug. So we're on our back, okay? Think about making that quadruped position, but being on your back, okay? So hands are parallel to your shoulders, facing the ceiling. Your knees are parallel to your hips, facing the ceiling. You're bringing your shoulders and head off of the ground, bringing that rib cage to your pelvic bone. And all you're gonna do is extend your left leg and extend your right hand overhead. Okay, come in here. Right hand overhead, left leg is extended parallel to the ground, and then back to that quadruped, back to your center. Okay, and then you'll alternate. Left hand, right leg, extend, recover. Extend, recover. Extend, recover. Okay. You can absolutely stay on the same side if need be. That's perfectly fine as well. Let's see. And then we will go back to your mini band, hip flexors, your L sit, leg raises, your ABCs, and then your banded dead bug, which I gotta change that real quick. And then we'll go into some mechanics. Wall drive ankle loads. So you're standing up. Okay. You're gonna be about 3 feet away from the wall, and then you'll fall into the wall. Okay. Body is gonna be at a 45-degree angle. Your hands are gonna be parallel to your shoulders, and then you're gonna be on the balls of our feet. Okay. So all we're gonna do is drive our knee to our chest. Okay. Now you're in a running stance. Okay. This is your acceleration stance. Dorsiflexion of your toe, 45-degree shin angle, triple extension in your back leg, and you're loading your ankle and then coming back down, okay? So keeping your body at a 45-degree angle, and we're just focusing on our ankles, okay? Ankle loads, 10 each leg, okay? Body at a 45. Thigh drive in your left leg, dorsiflexion, ankle extension. Your foot is not touching the ground, it's kind of hovering, okay? Your knee is just trying to stay parallel to that hip or a little bit underneath your hip. Okay, with that right triple extended leg, we're gonna go all the way to our tippy toes and then back down, not allowing our heel to touch the ground, okay? So you're unlocking your heel off the ground and then you're hitting that calf raise or triple extension. Just really trying to get the most mobility out of our ankle and then release. And then ankle extension and then release. And then ankle extension and then release, okay? For modifications, you can absolutely do it on a box and just kind of raise. You can also do a partner assisted where your partner holds your shoulders and you're just focusing on that ankle extension. Then we progress it to, you're going 3 sets of 10 each leg on these ankle extensions. Okay, just really focusing on that, getting out of that ankle, strengthening our Achilles tendon. Then we transition to our wall drive. So same exact thing. You fall into the wall at the 45-degree shin angle, or 45-degree angle, driving our leg. So left leg is going up, parallel to our hip, dorsiflexion on our toes, and then you're gonna switch to your left leg. So we're just trying to replace our right leg with our left leg and vice versa. So you're gonna switch really, really fast, trying to replace your left leg with your right leg, basically. Triple extension, dorsiflexion, 45-degree shin angle, in that running position. And then we can just focus on switches for the first week, just to make sure that you guys can control your center of gravity, keeping your body parallel to the ground or at that 45-degree angle, because some people don't have that strength yet in their core, so then their hips are pointing to the wall behind them versus pushing forward to the wall in front of them. Okay, so if you need to scale it down and just focus on your planks, your wall planks, trying to stay at a 45-degree angle, that's perfectly fine. For the ones who wants to progress this movement in that 45-degree angle, you'll switch 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So that's a left, right, left, left, right, left. Whew, my ankles are getting tired. All right. So either just focusing on your tight switches, 1 each side, like 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Just focusing on our really, really fast switches, trying to produce force behind the body. Remember Newton's law of gravity, if I want to go fast, I have to produce force behind my body really, really fast. If I want to go up, say, then I need to produce force into the ground really, really fast. Okay? For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If you want to go fast, you got to produce force behind the body fast. And then we're going to go into our the strength portion of this injury prevention workout. Okay, so all we're going to do is we're taking a knee, okay, 90-degree, well, we're going to start with a 90-degree angle in the forward leg. So I have my right leg forward and my left leg is parallel, my left knee is parallel to my hip, creating a secondary 90-degree angle. in order for us to, so we'll start in a 90-degree angle, but eventually I want you to progress to more of a 45-degree angle, keeping that knee over your pinky toe, like always, and breaking up with your heel. I always want you to stay on the balls of your feet, because if you're always loading the ball of your foot, you stay ready, okay? So all we're gonna do is from this kneeling position, you're gonna extend without allowing your feet to move. You're just pushing in through the balls of our feet into a standing position, and then taking a knee down, touching, okay? Keeping that knee parallel to your hip, and then just drive into the ground. So we should have 2 triple extended legs, and then take a touch back down, okay? So really just focus on being fast up, slow down, fast up, slow down. I like to add weight vests on this movement. If you don't have weight vests, then you can absolutely use a dumbbell, kettlebell, med ball, cans of beans. I mean, you literally could just load up a backpack and put a backpack on your back. It really, the world, I mean, the possibilities are endless with this movement. You can literally do everything and anything. It's just mainly focusing about this movement. Okay, so then we're gonna do a half kneeling split squat hold for 30 seconds. So staying in the split squat, both my toes are loaded, right? And we're just trying to get that knee 4 inches off the ground, and you're holding for 30 seconds, okay? So just knee parallel to the ground. You're just taxing your quads and trying to maintain endurance through this movement, okay? Again, to make this movement a little bit harder, you just load it up. Weight vests, loaded backpacks, dumbbells, kettlebells, anything you want. It just depends on how well you can hold it for 30 seconds. Let's see. So progressing that half kneeling split squat hold with an overhead press. So again, we're gonna go 4 inches off the ground with that back knee, still holding that kneeling squat, 90-degree angle in the front, 90-degree angle in the back, and hold that split squat 4 inches off the ground. Take that kettlebell, dumbbell, can of beans, whatever you have in that one side, and then overhead press for 10 reps. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we're taking a knee back down. You can absolutely put a pad underneath your knee for your split squats, your isometric holds, and then because then we still progress it, half kneeling split squat hold with a front raise. So again, not that split squat, same exact movement. We are taxing this side before we go to the other side. We will get that knee 4 inches off the ground, holding those two 90-degree angles, grabbing that weight of choice and raising it parallel to our shoulder, and then back down to our quad. Parallel to our shoulder, back down to our quad, okay? Trying to maintain those two 90-degree angles. You're going to repeat all of what I said on your left side, and then we're going 3 sets of that whole entire isometric hold sequence. I know it's a lot. Ooh, I need a sock for the next movement. All right, so if you have a plastic plate, you can use a plastic plate. If you have a slider, you can use a slider. I always use a sock. Don't judge me because I have dogs and my socks are always covered in dog hair. Hence the reason why I'm barefoot half the time. Ham curls. So focusing on your hamstrings. I'll try and we're dropping it down to the ground. Heels to our butt on a slippery surface. So I'm moving off of my mat to, let's see if I can get close. Okay. You're gonna go first 2 feet, extend, sorry, I'm trying to get in the camera, but, all right, laying on the ground, heels to your butt, arms across your chest if you want, or you can put them up in the air like you just don't care. Doesn't matter what you do with your hands as long as they don't help you get your hips up. All right, so we're going hips up, just like our regular bridges, okay? And then you're gonna slide your feet down and then recover, okay? So hips up, slide your feet out from underneath you to straight legs, to where your butt drops to the ground, and then recover. Hips up, slide, recover, okay? Easy day. If you want to progress it, then don't let your butt touch the ground. Slide, recover, without your butt touching the ground, okay? And then we progress it to single leg. So single leg up. So left leg up to the sky. Right leg is gonna slide down and then recover. Okay? 10 on each side. We're going 20 for 2 legs and then 10 single leg. Easy day. Side plank with a leg raise. So we're going back to the beach. Laying like we're laying on the beach. Except your head's not in your hand. You're just gonna, you know, kind of side raise. And lift those hips off of the ground. And then I want to challenge you to be able to kind of look like a starfish, pretty much. So, laying on your side, you're going to lift those hips off the ground and then leg raise. Leg raise. Trying to get your right foot away from your left foot. And then back down. Okay? You can absolutely go all the way. Sorry about that. Oh, I need some water. All right, side plank, leg raise. Side plank, leg raise. 10 on each side. Nothing too hard. And then last but not least, your lying leg extensions. Man, it is so hot in my house. Lying leg extensions. We are going back into kind of like that dead bug position, okay? Where you start, let's go hands behind your head, laying on your back, bringing your head and shoulders off of the ground, okay? You're bringing your knees parallel to your hips, okay? And all we're gonna do is pretend like we're trying to get our heels to the wall in front of us, and then bring our knees back into position parallel to our hips, okay? Keeping our shoulders off of the ground, keeping our rib cage parallel or pointing down to our hips, okay? I don't want to see your rib cages poking out of your bodies, okay? Keep those rib cages down. And then you'll go single leg. So same thing, single leg. Easy day. We're gonna go 20 for 2. That's your harder one. And then 10 for single leg. You can absolutely alternate or stay on the same leg. That is totally up to you, but you do have 3 sets. And let's see, I think that is all for day 1. If you have any questions, please send me a text, email, reach out to me. I am literally living, breathing, dreaming workouts all day long. So the more questions you ask, the better. And if you need a modification for anything, please reach out to me and I absolutely will send you a modification personally. You know, it's what I do. Y'all have a great day.